Have you ever felt like an imposter? And if yes, have you ever wondered why? At the age of 10, my deputy head school teacher berated me for having lofty ideas when I said I want to go to university. She said I should know my place. And she explained my place was to work until I get married and then raise the kids. In other words, stop having grandiose ideas when your role is to be a wife and mother. She wasn't wrong. If I looked around me, that's what I saw people like me doing. However, my parents had instilled a confidence in me that I am capable of being anything I want to be. And I decided to be an engineer. And almost immediately, my friends and relatives also started reminding me I should know my place. From, why don't you just settle down? To, you will struggle and fail. Even teachers joined in. Women are unheard of in engineering, you won't get a job. What they were all saying to me is that engineering is a man's job and you are not capable. Have you ever been discouraged from following your dreams like this? Our institutionalized environment assigns us roles at a young age, putting pressure on us for men to be breadwinners, leaders, heads of households, that they have to work and provide for their family. And for women, it's about being wives and mothers, family caretakers, a supportive role, which makes it difficult that anything outside of this role is not considered to be as important. This is not to say men and women cannot have different roles. It's simply saying that if a woman wants to be accepted as equal and capable, it is a challenge because it goes against the society-assigned role. Today, we are still trying to close gender pay gaps. We are still trying to get equal opportunities. It will be some time before we are truly treated as equals. According to the United Nations Women's Report, only published last year, it will only take, wait for it, 286 years for the world to achieve gender equality. Let that sink in. One Friday afternoon, my director was pacing the office. He was looking for an engineer to send out to Italy on Monday. I volunteered, but he said I could not go because I have small children. I had to remind him that the person he was looking for also had small children. And he said he wasn't doubting my experience and capability, but he thought it was better for a man to go because this opportunity will open doors to accelerate his career progression. What about my career progression? Internally, I was devastated. How many opportunities have I not been considered for because I am not a man? Don't misunderstand me. I've enjoyed my career in engineering. It has been absolutely amazing. But I did notice it would often take longer to be offered opportunities and promotions. I would be told you need a little bit more experience, but they couldn't elaborate experience in what. Or they would explain to me, your colleague, always male, just had the edge on you. And I couldn't explain what that edge was that I lost out to every single time. My successes would be ignored, my achievements downplayed, even my contributions be accredited to my male peers. My brain started processing, maybe I really wasn't ready. Maybe I am lacking in experience. What am I doing here? I was letting the biases and discriminations of others make me doubt my capability. And I started to hold myself back because I started to believe they were right. My imposter syndrome gremlins silently slithered uninvited through the door opened by my own self-doubts. And I started to overwrite my childhood narrative from I am capable to I am not capable. I worried I needed to work harder. I needed to show more results. I needed more experience. What if I really am a fraud and don't deserve to be here? Have you ever experienced this? The constant drip, drip, drip of my experiences sapped my confidence, allowing my imposter syndrome gremlins to take root and flourish, causing me to dismiss my achievements as my own. I would then put tremendous pressure on myself to prove to myself I can do this. And my gremlins would whisper, "What if you can't?" It would just be a matter of time before everyone else found out. I am not alone. A KPMG study in 2022 found 75% of high-flying female executives experience imposter syndrome. These women have already excelled in their field. So why have they started questioning their capability? The evidence speaks for itself. When women do stride forward, their efforts are often minimized by everyone around them. She just happened to be in the right place at the right time. She had a good team that carried her. She just got lucky. I want you to note this is being said for you to hear before you are saying it to yourself. Successful women who have worked incredibly hard navigating the gender-related barriers are also the most vulnerable to imposter syndrome, because the evidence of our achievements is not validated by society, and therefore, consequently, no longer validated by our own narrative either. Our narrative changes because of the influence of the powerful, biased environment that we live in. Yet every woman tries to solve this problem as if it only involves her, ignoring that actually if the society is involved, because it is our systemic society which is the real culprit, influencing our minds and attitudes of those of everyone around us as well, endorsing our gender roles, making sure we adhere to these gender roles, assigning us negative labels for the same behaviors given positive labels for men. Troublemaker as opposed to challenger if you question unfairness. Obstinate instead of thorough if you insist on doing what is right. Aggressive and opinionated instead of assertive and innovative. A Harvard Business Review article confirmed that for all positive leadership characteristics used to describe the behaviors of men, all had the equivalent negative descriptors used to describe the leadership behaviors for women. But do you know what the worst thing is? It is the writing of successful women out of history, of which there are many examples. Do you know what Rosalind Franklin and Jocelyn Bell Burnell have in common? They both were awarded Nobel Prizes for their scientific discoveries, only to have their Nobel Prizes be collected by their male peers who claimed their discoveries as their own and dismissed the achievements of these ladies as minimal. Then there is the great Gatsby author, F. Scott Fitzgerald, passing off his wife Zelda's writing as his own. And let's not forget Charles Darrow claiming he'd invented the game Monopoly, which was in fact invented by Elizabeth McGee. The list never ends. In researching successful women, I found two recurring themes every single time. First, what women achieved was regularly trivialized significantly compared to similar achievements by men, who in comparison had their achievements glorified. Secondly, the successes of many pioneering women in all fields were stolen. Their successes were accredited to their male peers, and the women themselves were written out of history. Robbing society of female role models makes it hard for us to accept our success because we don't see that it is okay to be here. And nor does anyone else see that it is okay to be here. We are constantly having to prove we have a place here by going against our society narrative, and this is a significant factor which fuels imposter syndrome. The absence of female role models also impacts future generations. Children, especially girls, limit their dreams because they don't see people like them doing other stuff. The people they see are us because we are their role models. So my question for you is, are you role modeling? Are you a silent bystander, allowing our flawed environment to continue endorsing our society-assigned roles? In which case, 286 years is a very ambitious target. Or are you brave enough to claim and own your accomplishments, speaking up when others do not want you to? Because if we want to change society's narrative about our worth, we need to be seen as empowering role models because we are. We need to evidence we are capable because we can. This means being confident and willing to be vocal and visible about what you have achieved and the effort it took, even when it is uncomfortable to do so. Because you've already shown you've had the courage to come this far. However big or small, we all have stories of overcoming biases, prejudices, discriminations. We need to share these stories. We need to swamp society with our success stories as worthy accomplishments and celebrate the achievements of women in the same way as we do for men. When the world sees and hears how we have succeeded outside of our role as family caretaker, the sheer volume of successful role models will start to dismantle the gender-biased barriers, and we can start to change society's narrative. We need society's narrative to change, to acknowledge that we are capable of being much more than wives and mothers. We need to experience society validate our accomplishments as our own so we can normalize it is okay to own our success because we deserve it. This is how we start closing the door on imposter syndrome. So when I asked you, what are you role modeling? Let me now ask you, what do you want to be role modeling? Be that role model for future generations. Thank you.